Today, I thought I would talk about 5 mistakes I think that are ruining your retirement savings. Actually, stay to the end. I think I'm going to add a sixth one. So, if you don't know, I'm Rich, and I'm just sharing my journey around saving and investing, and maybe some of my things I've made mistakes with, some things I've done well. And so, I thought I would do a quick video on what are some of the mistakes that I see maybe other people do, and maybe I've made mistakes as well. But, these are things that I've tried to really, manage and control to put myself in the best situation possible. Now, this isn't going to be talking about not putting money away. I mean, I put money away. I started out at 6%. I think I went to 8, well over 15% today. My wife's well over 25% today. So we are saving and investing. But these are things outside of that might have given you, if you're not putting in, 5% or 10% or whatever, your savings rate is. If you're not doing that, these are some of the things that I would say are holding most people back. So let's dive into it, right? So the first one, which is actually probably the largest expense that most people have, is their housing. So, lifestyle creep, and I put it really around the house, right? So are you getting too big of an apartment? Are you getting too big of a house? So being house rich, in some ways, but being retirement poor. So, that is the biggest thing I see. I mean, because when housing can cost $2,500, $3,000, I mean, I see things now, and it's costing $6,000, $7,000 a month just to live in a house that isn't yet. Yeah, sometimes if you're buying a house, it does give you some equity. But when you're going into retirement and you're getting your paycheck, and I'll use that in quotes, as let's say Social Security, that's only going to cover maybe 20, 30, 40%, of your replacement value. And you can't live off your house unless you're going to do some type of reverse mortgage. So I would actually downgrade my house. I mean, that's one thing I would consider, to be able to put more money away so you can enjoy more freedom, is the way I would like to say it. Second thing, is really around the cars. And so cars are depreciating assets, so they lose value. Yes, there are exceptions out there, but in general, cars lose value. Plus, you have car insurance, which is another huge expense on there. The maintenance as well. I look at all my cars, and today the average price of a car is right around $50,000. So $50,000, and most people don't even keep their cars 10 years. We try to keep them forever. The most expensive car I think I purchased was in 2012, 2011 time period. So almost 14 years ago. It was our Honda Odyssey, which we still have. And I think it was about 32,000. And that has been my most expensive car for both my wife and I. I think the second one was just recently in 2023, so it was still 3 years ago. It was our electric car, which was right around 31, but we got the $7,500 off. So it really put down into that, $24,000. So really have tried to keep those expenses as small as possible so we can invest the money someplace else. So that is the second mistake that I think a lot of people make. Number three is around technology. I thought, I was sitting on what I was going to think for my options, and it comes into some of the phones. I see people that are buying the latest, greatest phones and computers and those type of things. And, I've always tried to be one step back. I use Cricket Mobile, which was $25, $30 a month per line, unlimited, and it's a flat rate, so I never get charged with overages. Yeah, there are limitations sometimes, but in general, it works great. And then the phones. I mean, I used to see people, don't see it as much these days, or maybe people don't announce it as much, but I used to see people talking about getting phones every other year, always the latest ones. And when phones today, getting the latest ones is well over $1,000. I've always been one step back with, the iPhone SE, and today my current one is, it's not that old, but it's the 16E, which is more the efficiency one, or the consumer one that is, it definitely wasn't the 17, or I think there's an 18 today. Never looking at the latest ones, because again, I think they're at least 1,000, maybe $1,200 to get a phone. So what I try to do is with mine is, yeah, I I do put more space on it so I can last as long as possible. I get a good case so that I'm not trying to break the screen, because that was always a risk in the past. But so that is my third mistake that most people, I think, make, is around the technology. Number 4, and I lump this together a little bit, is clothes and food. So I've never been somebody that, has to have the most designer stuff. I would try to say that maybe you should get more quality products and has less of things. Same with food, get quality vegetables and stuff like that. Don't need as many processed stuff. So I think some people can overspend around going out to eat and doing those things when you can make a great meal at home. And again, these are just my life choices. You do you. But again, if you're really trying to put a little extra money into your retirement savings, maybe these are areas that you might want to consider. I'm not trying to judge. You can do whatever you want. But again, these are just things that I'm noticing. And so that's why they came up on my mistakes. Last thing is, and again, I own my own house, so I think is around some of the home improvement stuff. So I never grew up as somebody that was going to be very handy. I always thought I was going to pay somebody. But when you own a house and you want to paint the place or do drywall or do lawn care, I learned to do it myself, and I actually enjoy it. So it was actually a surprise in a lot of ways, because again, growing up, I always thought I was going to pay people and I didn't want to do it myself. And then I actually saw what the prices were, and I started doing it, and I actually really enjoy it. So that is the last thing. And I said I'd give a bonus thing. So now, before I give the bonus one, again, if you like these videos, what am I missing? Maybe what are some of your mistakes? What mistakes do you think I should have included that could impact your retirement savings? So that's it. These were my 5 plus bonus that could impact your retirement savings. And my last one today, and I did do a video on this because I do think this is impacting a lot of people today, is subscriptions. So, and again, I talked about it. I have my phone. You have subscriptions to internet today. You have subscriptions to music, which I have. You have subscriptions to food services and house cleaning. And these subscriptions that just, it's $25 here, it's $30 there, it's $40 there. They add up over time, and they really could impact, again, your retirement savings. And I brought up Dinkytown. Again, I like those calculators. I'll put a link in the description, of this site, and you can go out here and actually put in your own numbers if you want. But I did a quick analysis here. If you're starting with $0 for 40 years, so it was a long period of time, $200 a month. So again, and all these things that I was talking about, and lifestyle creep, and cars, and food, and clothes, and technology, and subscriptions, if you could save $200 a month over the 40 years, you would have almost $650,000 at an 8% return. So again, these are just things that I thought were mistakes, and some of these I've made myself, other ones I haven't. But I think most of these are ones I've tried to avoid, to really put that money into my investing so that I'm in the right place with my own retirement. So if you found this interesting, or if you have things that maybe I should have included, love to hear about it. Again, put it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. So this is Rich, out.